Greetings, summoners! This is the Ultimate Boss. This is a beginner video. I never did an Ultimate Boss video for Ark of War, but it's essentially the same thing. So if you watch Ark of War, and or you play Sky Themes, you play Ark of War, it's the same video, same explanation, same breakdown. Here we go. The Ultimate Boss is a mega spawn that spawns on the map 4 hours before the kill event weekend starts. So Friday night at midnight is when my kill event starts, the first individual event. 4 hours before that, the Ultimate Boss will spawn somewhere, anywhere on the map, and whoever finds it can start attacking it. Now, in the early game, this is a new server, so the boss is only level 3. His troops are lower, his HP is lower, and no one should be able to one-shot him. Later on in the game, people are going to one-shot the Ultimate Boss, but for now, all the lobies get to fight it out and fight the Ultimate Boss. The problem with the Ultimate Boss is that if you don't lose the fight by your ship dying, the boss black holes you, and all your troops die, including your expensive troops, permanently. They literally come back to you and they overflow your hospital and you lose all your troops. So the way you counter it is you intentionally lose the fight, or lose the fight, but don't worry about getting black holed by using tier 1 only. The funny thing about this game is that when it comes to attacking the enemy ships, the actual hull and not their troops, the defense and HP stats don't affect it. So you do full damage once you get past their troop line. So tier 1 does really well against the Ultimate Boss. More on that later. That's advanced strategy. Let's go into the basic stuff. Here's a replay of what you don't want to happen. This is what happens when your commander is level 39, when your bridge or your hero release area is too high. You have so much HP on your ship. You see right here where my finger is, right there? 45,000. The higher your commander level, this guy is probably level 39, the more HP your ship has, which means the more hits your ship can take before you lose the fight, which is normally a good thing in PvP, but the problem with having a high level commander is it takes longer for them to heal, and they have more HP in the boss fight. So what this guy tried to do, Thor, I love you, man, but he messed up because he only left one row open. He knew about this trick, but he only left one row open, and he didn't take enough damage. So he clears the bottom 2 rows. He put junk troops in the top, so he would hopefully lose and get and just lose the battle and not get black holed. But you can only hit the ship, or you can only get 5 rounds of combat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each troop can only go 5 times. And if no one's beaten each other yet, you get black holed, and your whole army dies. What you want to happen is you want to do like 4 or 5 rounds of damage, and then before the fight ends, you want their rows, their existing troops, to kill your ship. But here we go, coming into the 5th round. Is that the last one? Boom. The black hole goes off, his ship is still intact, and he loses his whole army. Boom. That's bad. That is obviously tremendously bad. He did some damage to the Ultimate Boss, and for doing damage to the Ultimate Boss, you get some rewards. So just by hitting the Ultimate Boss, you get chests, and inside the chest they have magazines, speed ups, temporary buffs, stuff like that. Not tremendously good rewards, I'll admit, but it's something to do. It's just more content, and not to mention there is gems for winning. The guild gets a lot of gems. Your guild splits it between the top 80 people of your guild, so it's worth doing just for the free gems, especially on a new server and on a late server. It's something fun to do. But early game, the real strategy and what you should be listening to here is you intentionally want to lose, right? So this is the correct way to do it, depending on your commander level. For example, let me visit that in this video. Here we go. Information, hero max level 29. That means my hero isn't going to have the same 45,000 HP as a level 39 hero, because my hero is only going to be level 29. And I don't know his HP offhand, but I want to double check it here for the video's sake. And right there. So, otherwise, I would have just said, oh, he's got this much HP, but now we have proof, 15,000. So level 29 is 15,000. When you go from 29 to 39, your hit points triple. And the enemies don't do enough damage to kill your ship, which is why he got black holed. So let's show you what that fight is supposed to look like. And that way, hopefully people can watch this and go, okay, this is how we're going to kill the boss from now on. Here's a battle from Y6. Shout out to server 679. FXE, what's up, guys? So here is his attack. Notice that he put 2 dummy troops, 2 chumps, in the top 3 slots, and he only put troops in the 5th slot, not the 6th, because he wants to lose the fight. He wants to do damage down the middle row so he can score some points, but ultimately he wants the other troops to kill his ship. Now, look where my finger is, right there, 15,000. Not 45,000, 15,000. So because his commander's a lower level, it's easier for the enemy to kill his ship, which is what he wants. So in this example, we are now going, this is the start of round 2. So this is his second attack. And the boss is going to go. So by the time this is done, we'll know exactly how much HP you need to hopefully lose the fight successfully. So this is going into the third round. Here we go. And is that the third or fourth? Oh gosh. Well, it's either the third or fourth. So he only had 15,000 HP. He probably could have put troops in the low slots 3 and 6. For those of you that don't know, we call the very first slot slot 1, the next slot to go slot 2, the third slot to go slot 3, and so on and so forth. So 1, 2, 3, and then back to the top row 4, 5, and 6. And we call them the slots in the order they attack, and they always attack in the same order, depending on if you have first strike or not. So I want to see how much damage he takes. Now remember, enemy troops and your troops can crit the enemy blimp or the enemy shield. That happens in Ark of War as well. If you know from Fort Explorer, which isn't in this game yet, that's a thing. So the higher your crit chance will affect your ability to crit the enemy ship. So damage does slightly vary, so be careful. Sometimes people would get really close to... sometimes they wouldn't die. The enemy attackers wouldn't kill their blimp before the 5th round would end, and they would get black holed 1 in 10 times. And after a few months of people fighting the galactic boss or the world boss, you would see it every once in a while, and people wouldn't know why. It's because crits. There is a random chance. Damage isn't always the same. Damage can vary. So at this point, you'll see that he's been done. See how his hit HP right here? 31,000. If it goes under 30,000, which it doesn't, that means that if you have a level 29 commander, you cannot attack in 2 rows. You absolutely have to attack like this or risk losing your whole army because they didn't do enough damage that last time. You might get lucky every once in a while, but as a general rule, this is how you attack the galactic boss. And the reason that you put troops in slots 2 and not slots 1 is because the boss has first strike if your commander's a low enough level. But that's how you do it. If you don't have, if you're level 39 and you try to run it like this, based on the last numbers we saw, it only did 14,000. If there was 2 slots open, they would have done 28,000. Still wouldn't have killed you. You still would have lost your whole army. So at level 39, you can't do this trick anymore. So be aware that you risk losing your whole army if you get caught off guard like this. So this is how you do the ultimate boss. Once later on in the game, when you have so much, your level's too high, your commander is too high of leadership, your level's too high, not leadership, when your level is too high that you're always going to get black holed because the enemy troops just don't hit hard enough to destroy your base, you just send tier 1. You're going to win, you have a lot of leadership, you're still going to hit the enemy boss, but you are going to get black holed and lose all your tier 1. But that's okay, tier 1 is cheap, and you can just keep rebuilding it. And like I said, when tier 1 hits the enemy ship, not their troops, the ship doesn't have stats. So when you look at like damage, it says population 2, that's their unit value, and attack is 8, right? So for every 2 units of population, you get 8 damage. Now remember, population is what takes up leadership in your commander's army, right? So if you have 100 leadership, each one of these guys takes up 2 spots. So you could have 50 units per slot. If you don't know what that means, oh gosh, that's a whole nother basic video. But essentially, the damage is for every 2 units you get 8 damage, right? 2 units, 8 damage. When you switch to tier 2, it is population 10 for 55 damage. So actually, tier 2 is going to hit harder than tier 1. So for every 1 unit of damage you get, every 1 unit of population you get 5.5 attack. For tier 1 you get 4 attack. So tier 2 hits, what is that, like 30% harder? It's actually noticeable. It's good to notice. I think tier 1 infantry is really good. One population for 5 damage, and it's the cheapest units to build. So most people end up sending just tier 1 infantry at the end game. If your commander's level 39 or higher, you're going to get black holed. Just send whatever you're willing to lose permanently in tier 1, and you'll do a lot of damage because it hits hard. You just got to break through the first line of troops. So that's the world boss video. It spawns twice in the weekend, so once per day, and when he dies, he drops a 15 Shadow Matter tile or Dragon tile. Shadow Matter, Dragon tile. It's the same thing in this game, which is the rare reagent to get high tier. So, yeah, that is the World Boss video, guys. That pretty much covers it. If there's anything I missed, check in the description below. Check in the comments below. People like to put in anything I miss, and people just upvote it if it's good. So, thanks for watching. More Sky Kingdoms video to come. And, yeah, if you like it, hit the like button. If you don't, whatever. And that's going to cover it. My name is Melt. Thanks for watching. Remember, peace is bad for business.